Kia ora, and the headlines. Changes have been made to the alcohol reform bill a month out from a final vote. Justice Minister Judith Collins says there's a risk-based licence fee and more community input on liquor outlets.
Communities will be able to restrict and extend maximum opening hours, impose one-way doors, which means patrons who leave premises will not be able to return within a specified time, make sure alcohol outlets are not open near schools or churches.
And a conscience vote will be held on the purchase age. Medical student Stephen Fairweather told New Zealand's REMA that raising the age to 20 years for both on and off licences would encourage responsible behaviour.
And you're not going to have those drift down issues with 18-year-olds buying for a lot younger teenagers.
Changes to student loan repayment rates and allowance eligibility are expected to be announced in this month's budget, and Auckland University's Vice-Chancellor Stuart McCutcheon doubts that will hugely discourage students because they realise that a tertiary education is beneficial. In fact, he thinks students should be charged interest.
It's unreasonable for students from relatively well-off families who go to university to have other taxpayers subsidise their loans and have those loans provided interest-free.
The Economic Development Minister is defending the decision not to stand John Banks down from Cabinet over the controversy surrounding his mayoral election campaign donations. Stephen Joyce says it's a political argument, with the left wanting his scalp and National leaving it to police to decide if there's a case to answer.
The reality is that there's been an allegation made, and if everybody stood down once an allegation was made, then actually the Parliament would be pretty
The Ministerial Contact Group is encouraged by Fiji's efforts on election planning. Ministers from New Zealand, Australia and other Pacific nations have been assured that the process underway will lead to elections in 2014. The promise is for open consultation. The elections will be free and fair. There'll be no media restrictions and no parliamentary seats reserved for the military. We're being urged to wise up when it comes to online privacy. Privacy Commissioner Marie Schroff says 55% of New Zealanders think Facebook is a private space.
So there's still an element of people who are not sufficiently aware about the risks of going online and putting too much information online.
And Facebook shares are to go on sale in one of the most highly anticipated initial public offerings since Google in 2004. The social network giant wants to raise about $5 billion in the IPO. Rugby great Sir Fred Allen has been farewelled in Auckland today. His funeral was held at Eden Park at midday, and his family said they appreciate the many messages of condolence they've received since his death. The former All Black captain and coach died on Saturday, aged 92. Overseas, a British parliamentary committee has concluded that Rupert Murdoch and his son James should take ultimate responsibility for the phone hacking scandal. 3 senior News Corp executives now face being held in contempt of Parliament. US President Barack Obama says victory over the September 11 terrorists is finally within reach. It's been a year since mastermind Osama bin Laden was killed, and he says the US has devastated al-Qaeda's leadership. But there are claims that the terrorist group is now bigger and more geographically dispersed than it was 10 years ago. Well, that's the news. Moriora.